Lauren, I wanted to go over this week's assignment. And so starting off here just by showing you, of course, what we had for this week's assignment in our marketing plan. And so there were a couple of things, value proposition, customer decision journey. And so I really wanted to focus on the value proposition statement development. And of course, that came from a methodology that we call from SCIM. And SCIM is a consulting group and research organization. And as you see here, we really have it in three parts, right? This is the template that they use. First is the insight, which in itself is in three parts: current situation, dilemma, and then ideal situation. So the current situation is always written in terms of an I statement and in the stakeholder for whom that dilemma will be solved. So it's who am I, what situation am I in, etc. Then the dilemma. Okay, so what problem do I have? And then the ideal situation is, wow, if this can be solved, it would look like what? So that's kind of the insight piece. Then there's the value proposition statement itself. And then that's a solution that leads to the solution of the problem that that person has identified. And that can be looked at in two ways: either functional benefits or emotional benefits, or a combination of both. Now, emotional benefits tend to be a little bit more powerful. However, it really depends on the stakeholder for whom you're writing that value proposition. And then the last piece are the reasons to believe, which are the RTBs, and they're really proof points about how that particular solution is going to solve the problem that you identified in the insight. So I kind of want to go through what you provided, and while you did this in three parts, as you can see here, you had the insight, but the insight here is about type 1 diabetes and how it affects a lot of how many people in the U.S., etc., and finding ways to help people with type 1 diabetes manage their condition easier can significantly improve their quality of life. And, while all that's true, that's at a much higher level. What you want for the insight is going to be something that's going to be very finite to a particular person. Maybe this person is a sufferer of type 1 diabetes. Maybe it's a physician. Then the solution really is talking a little bit more focused. It's a solution to help monitor medication, diet, and exercise. So this isn't too bad. It's pretty good in terms of how a solution should be formulated. And then a reason to believe is, here you're talking a reason to believe about self-management. How good is self-management in terms of helping people with type 1 diabetes? But it's really not a reason to believe in the solution itself. So I want to show you what I've created. Now, of course, as you know, I'm doing a project alongside alongside the students and your colleagues. So mine is about a remote spirometry device. That's a real device. And I have two value propositions, one for pulmonologist, a lung doctor, and the second one for a patient. And I'm doing that just to show you how the solution can be a little bit different. So my problem here is written in an I statement. As a pulmonologist, I use spirometry to collect key data in order to diagnose COPD, because the solution's for COPD, and monitor a patient's progression with the disease. So notice how that's different from what you set up. Mine is in terms of an I statement. And it may seem a little technical, but it really drives home how this solution then is going to meet the needs of that particular target group. And that's going to be critical, and that's why you want to set this up in that I kind of format. I typically see COPD patients in my office every 3 to 6 months, depending on their acuity, and that's when I use the spirometry. However, with COVID-19, it's more difficult. Here comes the problem, right? These are the things I generally do. Now here's a problem. With COVID-19, it's more difficult to see patients in the office. And now, the I wish kind of thing. I wish there was a way that I could get necessary spirometry metrics through a remote usage in a validated approach. So now it's a setup for the solution. NuvoAir is an intelligent cloud-based platform that gives pulmonologists, speaking about that one particular target, The ability to collect spirometry data, what are they, from a COPD patient from the comfort of the patient's home. And the platform uses the power of AI to continually monitor the results and creates alerts for patients at risk. So the platform also provides an easy-to-read dashboard from which pulmonologists can monitor a patient's longitudinal changes in order to manage their care. So the solution answers the question about, this is the problem. Now how can someone help me with that? And then the reasons to believe aren't necessarily fleshed out here. I do have what they could be. What kind of data would it collect? So basically, that's because this particular device is going through FDA approval right now. So they're going to collect this. But some of it is about what data is collected, and some of it performs to ERS, which is European Respiratory Society, or ATS, American Thoracic Society guidelines, and uses GLI predicted values, which are monitoring and kind of measuring the acuity. Now, that is one particular value proposition, and this is juxtapositioned against the COPD patient. So the problem still in the three same kind of the brackets, right? And so now we have the problem or the insight. I was recently diagnosed with COPD. This is a patient then. As a way of monitoring my condition, my pulmonologist requires to meet with me every 4 months. Because my condition is mild and hasn't changed, I don't think I need to see her as frequently. And because of COVID, here's the problem, right? I don't want to go to her office. Well, I wish there was a way she could monitor my condition without meeting me directly. So that sets up a solution, but a different solution. I mean, it's the same product. NuvoAir is an intelligent cloud-based platform that allows your doctor to monitor your condition without you leaving your home. See how the phrasing is all about the patient, because now it's going to mean a benefit for them. And once NuvoAir ships the device to your door, videos and associated literature help you set it up and administer the tests on your own. The data is automatically uploaded into the platform, allowing your doctor to monitor and manage your condition remotely. She'll get in contact with you if she feels there's a need to change treatment or medication. And it's reimbursable through Medicare. So it's like everything you can do in the comfort of your own home. What's the big value? You don't have to go to the doctor anymore or as frequently. And the reasons to believe here are going to be the same as what I had in the previous value proposition statement. So I just wanted to cover off on value proposition statements and how they're created and how your creation might have been in the same kind of format, but just there were some nuances that could have made it a little bit better moving forward then in terms of developing that solution. And next week when we talk about positioning. If you have any questions about this, please feel free to contact me. Thanks.